Okay, so in the last class, we had started with the fifth unit, that is the growth strategies, external and internal. We already discussed this. The learning objective we have already discussed. The learning objective include type of growth strategies and pros and cons of each. Internal expansion versus external expansion. Example of strategic alliance. Example of merger and acquisitions. Expansion strategies. If we talk about types of expansion strategies, they are concentration. And if you recall concentration, this is nothing but the 4 quadrants that you have done in your Ansoff model. The first 3 quadrant, that is market penetration, market development and product development. The first 3 quadrants will come into concentration, while the 4 quadrant of Ansoff model, that is diversification, that is another type of expansion strategy that will come under the expansion strategies. We have already done this while we have studied the corporate level strategies. We have also talked about integration. So there we have also talked about 2 types of integration: backward integration and forward integration. Backward integration is when a company take one step back in the industry value chain. For example, I have already explained that if I am a cement company and I venture into a business which manufactures raw material which are that to be supplied to the cement factories. So if I venture into such business, that would be backward integration. When I step ahead of my current business position in the industry value chain, then it is forward integration. That is, if I am manufacturing something and if I venture into distribution of those things, or I venture into marketing and advertising of those things. So if I venture into marketing and sales and advertisement activities or distribution activities as a separate business entity, then that is forward integration. Now talking about horizontal integration. Horizontal integration is when you venture into a new business which is at the same position in which you are functioning. So taking a step in the same industry, value chain. So if I am a cement manufacturer and if I take over or if I buy another plant or another unit of my competitor or something, so that will be called horizontal integration. Diversification, I've already explained. Diversification could be into related products. If I venture into a related business, so if the business has got some synergy with my present product or marketing strategy or marketing synergy, then that would be called concentric diversification. And if it is entirely a new business, that would be called a conglomerate diversification. I have already talked about corporation. When 2 companies come together or 2 companies agree to work together at various levels to form such as strategic alliances, joint venture, contractual alliances, etc. That is called corporation. Internationalization, when companies decide to go global by extending their businesses offshore or into another company by various means, that is licensing, franchising, export, import, etc. And that could be also through merger, acquisition, or a complete takeover. So that is internationalization. So we will study in detail by example various expansion strategies. What are the objectives of external growth strategies? The objectives include access to new technology brand, diversify a product or service, obtain access to new markets, increase market power, increase the efficiency of business operations. So we have already, dealt with the types of growth strategies, that is internal growth strategy and external growth strategies. To revise, internal growth strategy is when a firm grows without involving other businesses. That means without having any kind of interference with other businesses, or in terms of without having any investment from other organization, or without having any investment in other organizations, or if I say in other words, without utilizing any strategies of expansions like merger, takeover, acquisitions, or joint venture. When a company grows on of its own, then it's called internal growth, while external growth could be said when it is done through various strategic measures like merger, acquisitions and takeovers. I've already explained what are these in detail. Okay, so we will be dealing with some of the example of external expansions. So first is Vodafone. Repeated geographic moves, expanding from one geographic market to another over the past 13 years, building revenues from $1 billion in 1990 to $48 billion in 2003. So this is an example of internal growth by enhancing the geographical reach as well as increasing the revenue multifold from 1919 to 2003. Second example is Dell Computer. So Dell Computer is known for what? Dell Computer is known for providing customized service to its customers. So any person can go to Dell and they can have a customized computer of their choice. So Dell have also shown growth, internal growth, in terms that Dell has been able to have a superior business model into new segment, and it has repeatedly adapted its direct to customer model to new customer segments and new product categories. So Dell has not only reached to the new segment of the customer, but it has also been able to provide new product extensions to its customers. Talking about Olam International, a Nigeria-based startup that went from distributing one product in one country to building $1.9 billion multinational business in only 13 years. Olam supplies cocoa, coffee, cashew, sesame, and other food commodities to global packaged foods companies, including Kraft, General Foods, Sara Lee, and Nestle. Okay, now talking about different kind of strategic alliances and the study of different kind of strategic alliances in terms of their degree of integration and the degree of control and decision making power in each. So as you can see, in the x-axis we have control and decision making power from low to high, and on the y-axis we have degree of integration, that is what is the intensity of the integration that you have with the other organization. So degree of integration, that too from low to high. So in the lowest level we have inter-informational collaboration with two companies or two organizations agrees to share critical information with each other. That is a kind of tie-up for sharing information only. There is no exchange of technology, no exchange of equity or whatsoever. The only exchange of information. So at this level, the integration with the other organization is at the lowest level, and control and decision making power is also very less. Moving further, we have a contractual agreement. Contractual agreement, when I say, then when two companies enters into an agreement or contract to do a business, would be called contractual agreement. In this type of agreement, no equity is exchanged. Rather, these contractual agreements are done in terms of franchising, licensing, and cross licensing. Franchising is when one franchising is in the service sector, when one parent company provide franchise to the other company to operate in other location bearing the parent company's brand name. That is franchising. Licensing is when it is actually given in manufacturing and marketing, etc. So if one companies give license to other company to manufacture products in different location under the parent's company's brand name, that is called licensing. For instance, like Godfrey Philip, manufactures two brands of cigarettes, like Marlboro and Benson Hedges. The smoker may be knowing. So these are being manufactured by Godfrey Philip. In India, the Godfrey Philip has given the license to Modi, Lalit Modi's company. So that would be a form of licensing. So collaboration, the strategic alliances is in the form of licensing. And there could be cross licensing. When I say cross licensing, it could be when both companies are giving license to each other to do business or to manufacture something on behalf of each other. So if I am a company, I am giving you a license to manufacture my product, and if you are also giving me a license to manufacture your product at my location, so that could be called cross licensing. Now the next level is, so as you can see, as we are moving up in the ladder, the degree of the level of control and decision making power is increasing, and at the same time degree of integration with the other organization is also increasing. So talking about non-equity alliances, so when I say non-equity alliances, so in a non-equity strategic alliance, two or more businesses agree to share resources and capabilities to gain a competitive advantage without forming a joint venture and without an equity exchange. One example is partnership between Starbucks and Kroger. Starbucks has kiosk in many Kroger supermarkets. So Starbucks pays Kroger for space, and Kroger customer have opportunity to sit down and relax with a coffee while shopping. Both party benefit nicely. So what example of non-equity alliances, that Starbucks have entered into an agreement with Kroger supermarket to open outlets of Starbucks. So Starbucks is paying to Kroger for providing their space into their supermarket. On the other hand, the buyers of the Kroger supermarkets are having the facility to relax with a coffee while shopping. So both parties are benefiting. Talking about equity alliance, in equity strategic alliance, one company purchase an equity stake in the other company. A great example is Panasonic. In 2009, Panasonic entered into an agreement to supply Tesla motor with lithium-ion battery cells to use in its cars. In 2010, Panasonic invested $30 million in Tesla to support the growth of the electrical car industry. Over the years, the alliances has grown, and in 2017, Panasonic announced it and Tesla would start making batteries at factory outside of Reno and Nevada now. So this is kind of equity alliance in which one company or one organization invest in the other organization in order to enter into some strategic alliances or agreement to supply or to manufacture something. Now talking about joint venture, as I've already told you, the simplest form of strategic alliance could be joint venture only. A joint venture, in a joint venture, two or more parties agrees to form a separate child entity to undertake a specific project or venture. When both parties have equal stake in the child entity, the new entity is called 50-50 joint venture. And if one company is having 70% stake and the second company is having 30% stake, that then such type of joint venture would be called majority joint venture. And if the both company is having 50-50% stake, such joint venture would be called 50-50 joint venture. So in a joint venture, two companies agrees to form a third company in which they have a equal equity. They run it jointly while they retain their original parent company's identity. Such examples of joint venture could be Ratnagiri Power and Gas Limited in Maharashtra. This is a joint venture between NTPC and GAIL India. It's in Maharashtra. So this is one of the largest gas-based power and gas limited. So this could be one of the example of joint venture. And at the highest level, you have mergers and acquisitions. So at the levels of merger and acquisitions, you will see the highest degree of integration, and at the same time, you will also see the highest level of control and decision-making power. Moving further, if I talk about extent of investment risk and versus degree of ownership and control, as you move from less integration to more integration, both the extent of investment will increase and also the degree of ownership and control will increase. So here we can see that we have started from export, then licensing, franchising, strategic alliances, then to joint venture, and finally to wholly owned subsidiary. So as we move as we ascend upside, we can see as we ascend on the ladder, we can clearly see the degree of ownership and control is increasing, and the extent of investment risk is also increasing. Now talking in detail about strategic alliances, companies combine their assets and resources for a certain period of time to achieve predetermined goals while remaining independent. Equity alliances are created when independent companies become partners and establish a new entity jointly owned by participating partners. The most common form of equity alliances is a joint venture. Talking about non-equity alliances are created through the contracts. Examples of non-equity alliances are franchising and licensing, in which one company provides product, services, or intellectual property to another company in exchange of a fee.